Hi, my name is Brandy, and I work with Hardin County Schools and Technology. And so I want to talk a little bit about how to use the Wi-Fi access in our school parking lots. If you are in a situation during our long-term NTI where you have a weak internet connection to your house or no internet connection at all. We have set up access points on the front of all of our buildings. So usually near the front office or somewhere on the front of the building, the locations where you can grab the Wi-Fi in the parking lot are going to be marked with yard signs. And you can do sort of a situation where about once a week you would go in, you would download and set to offline the documents and the videos that you're going to need for class for that week. And then next week you would go back in to the parking lot again, and your work would automatically be back uploaded to Google Classroom. And then you could grab your new work, take that home, and work on it at home or wherever you are that has either a weak internet or no internet. I know when we first talked about this last year during NTI, this is kind of what I envisioned was me pulling up in the parking lot, and here's my kids in the back seat, and everybody's trying to do their work and do their things while they're fighting, and we're trapped there for hours doing work. But it's really not like that. It's more of you're going to pick up work for the week while you're sitting there in the car off the internet, and then you're going to go home and complete it at home, then come back the next week, and it'll be uploaded for you. The first step to that is once you get into that parking lot space, you're going to open up, if it's a school-owned device like a Chromebook that you're borrowing, you're going to just open it up. It's automatically going to grab this connection called Hardin Wi-Fi. If you're on a personally owned device like a tablet or a phone or a laptop, then when you open it up, you're going to look for the network called Hardin Guest. And it's going to ask for an email, a name, and then ask for you to agree to some terms. So you're going to type in student email, you're going to type in student name, you're going to hit the checkbox in order to agree to the terms, and then join. From there, there's a few steps and these are probably going to be pretty comfortable for your students except for setting things offline. So I'll run through them real quick here, and then we'll look at how to do them. They're going to go to Google Classroom. They're going to open all their assignments for that week. They're actually going to set anything that's a doc or a slide, that's where they need to do their work, to offline. And then they're going to download PDFs or videos that their teacher might have for them. They can also, once they get home, create docs, sheets, and slides offline at home from this device. So students going to go to Classroom. They're going to look for their classwork that's in the Classwork tab. And then right here, I see at the top, I have a document that I need to complete. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on the assignment. Okay. Once that gets opened up, here's my assignment. We're asking that teachers post directions on the assignment here. So you have that once you're at the house, and then the student would do their work, down at the bottom. You're going to go to File, and then you're going to click right here to do Make Available Offline. Whoop. Let's do that again. Make Available Offline. I see this pops up that says document is now available offline. If I go back to File, now you see that there's a check mark there. That means it is available offline, okay? That means once I get home, I could go to my files or to my drive, and I would see that document, and it would be right here. It would be available offline. This is me and my drive. You may need to, the very first time that you pull up to the school to do this, go to your drive, go to Settings. That's the gear wheel, then hit Settings. And then right here, check this box that says offline. I've already got mine set. Students may need to do that. They would only need to do that the very first time. So now I can get back to that doc and do my work later. But along with that work is usually going to be some sort of like PDF that tells students has the actual lesson, or maybe a video. So I'm going to click on this video. This is the one I'm going to need. Now I'm not going to sit there and watch the 20-minute video while I'm in the parking lot. Instead, I'm going to click on it. And then here in the upper right-hand corner, I'm actually going to download this video to my Chromebook. It's going to pop up with a progress window down here in the lower right-hand corner, and that'll let me know when it's done, okay? It's going to take a few seconds for that to happen, but it says download complete. Now I know that I really have the video, and I can go and get the next video when those are done, and I've done all my classes. Then I can pull away from that zone, and I can go home and watch this video offline at home. The way once you get home on your Chromebook to see that is going to be right here at the bottom. Do you see this blue icon that says Files? I'm going to click on that. Over here on the left-hand side, My Files, Downloads. And then there is that video, okay, that I need to see. I can watch this now at home without internet access. If you do not have that little file icon there at the bottom, you're going to go over here to the launcher, which is in the far left-hand corner, launch it, and then find files there. Once again, here's my files. Now I'm going to go to downloads. There's the video I need to watch. Once I've watched the video as many times as I need to understand the content, then I can come over here, and also at home, even without the internet, is going to be my document or my slides even. Sometimes teachers will use slides for these assignments so that I can get to those at home. Next time I drive to the parking lot, I'm just going to make sure that I go into classroom and turn this work in. Okay, turn it in, and that's all I have to do. Then I'll grab the next week's work. We're now going to look at what this would kind of look like on a phone. On a phone, it's a wee bit different, or a tablet, because what you're going to need to do is you actually need to download the individual apps for Classroom, Docs, Drives, and Slides. Okay, then you're going to go to the Classroom app. You're going to open the assignments. I'm going to show you how to make those available offline. I'm going to show you how to download those videos or PDFs to your account. And then also keep in mind that at home, if you have the app for docs and slides, that you will actually be able to create those from home when you don't have internet, and then go back and turn them in into your classroom at school when you go back into that Wi-Fi zone. So now we're going to look at what this would look like on a phone. So on a phone, here's my apps, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the Classroom app. I'm going to find that same class that I was in earlier, and I just want to show you real quick how it is that we can set these offline so that you can access the exact same kind of stuff from the house. Once again, at the bottom, I'm going to go to my classwork. So that's just that center tab. I'm going to open up that doc that I need to complete. And this time what you're going to see is in that top right-hand corner, the little arrow. So I want to hit that button, and it takes me to the actual Docs app. Hit the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner and set this available to offline by toggling the button. So I'm going to go back and pull that up for you again. I hit the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and then I'm going to go down and toggle the button that says Make Available Offline. Okay, right there. That way I know that this is now available offline, and when I get home, I can use this on my phone or the tablet, either one. All right, let's go back to the classroom. And now I need to go and I need to find that video. So I'm going to open that video, click on it. It is going to take a second to load. And then I'm going to download that video to my actual phone so that I have access to it. Once again, we're going to look for this little arrow in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to click that. It's going to take me directly to my drive. I'm going to click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. And then once again, I want to click where it says Make Available Offline. This video is now going to be saved in my drive offline for me to get to at home. The way that I would do that is to go to the Drive app. I'm going to find my video. It's going to be one of the very first things there for me. Sorry, I've got a lot in here, so you're having to stare at it. But I'm going to find it there in my drive. I can watch the video from there now, even if I am offline at home. And there's that video. It's at the very top since it's the last thing I opened. Like I said, even at home now, this is saved to my drive offline so that I can watch it when I don't have internet. Hi, this is Brandy New, Instructional Technology Coordinator with Hardin County Schools. I want to take just a second to help you walk through how you would get logged into a Chrome browser on different devices. Logging into a Chrome browser with the student's information, the at stu.hardin.kyschools.us, is going to be the easiest way for you to get to email and classroom, which are going to be super important during our NIT days. So first thing we're going to talk about is if you are on a laptop or a desktop computer, you want to just open up a Chrome browser, and that might be just a double click there on your top or wherever you need to go to find that. It might also be down here in your settings. If you were to type in Chrome, then you would get it there, okay? Once I get here, it's going to pull up to a page. May or may not look just like this. This one's got some color on it. What I'm looking for is a blue sign-in button in this top right-hand corner. Now, I don't see it right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type Google in the address bar, okay? I'm going to Google the word Google, and then what happens in the top right there is now I have that sign-in button. This is where you are going to put your student's email address and then their password to get signed in, okay? This is on a laptop or a Chromebook. Now, once you have that, then you will see, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Once you're there, now you're going to see right over here this menu, or what I call a waffle, on the right-hand side. From there, you can get to Gmail or Classroom. If you are not using a laptop or a desktop, you're just using a Chromebook, well, that's just as simple as turning it on and logging into that at stu.hardin.kyschools.us email address. If you are on a tablet, your student is actually going to look for and then download the Chrome app, which is going to have that same Chrome browser image that we keep seeing over and over, okay? So that one right there, that's going to be on the app. You can even, once they got that app on their tablet, then they're going to sign in with their @stu and they'll be good to go. Google Classroom is also an app that you might want to have them get on their tablet and sign into. And then you can even access Classroom and Chrome from like an Xbox or a PlayStation. I'm sure your kiddos can figure that out faster than you can, but they're going to go to an internet browser there and then sign on. It would be a little hard for them to type, so they might want to, plug in a keyboard if you have access to that at that point in time. But that is the way that you can get signed in. You want to go to Chrome first, if at all possible, get signed in there, and then kind of use that as your way to get to everything else. Hi, my name is Brandy, and I work with Hardin County Schools. And we're going to try to give you some tips and tricks for how to see what kind of work your child has done in their Google Classroom or maybe some of their other Google tools. You'll hear us talk a lot about Google tools and quite possibly have your child's teachers use those a lot. And that's because we get a bunch of free tools from Google for education. One of those is actually your child's email address. Anything that ends in @stu.hardin or that has that Hardin in it. So your child and their teacher's email addresses are actually kind of like a Gmail or a Google Mail address. So when you go to sign in, that's what you're going to sign in with always for your kiddos is that Gmail address or that @stu.hardin.kyschools. So if you're on a desktop and you open up a new window, I always Google the word Google if I'm not sure where I am. So on a desktop, we would come here and then sign in, or just, wherever you find this window. Oh, this is a Chrome browser. That is the best browser to use if you're on a desktop with Hardin County Schools. So I'm going to hit sign in. If you're on a Chromebook, this is kind of the very first screen that you come to anyways. So I'm going to type in my student's email address. And they always end with @hardin.kyschools.us. Next. I'm going to put in their password. If you do not know your child's password, you can call the school, but it should be the last 6 digits of their lunch number, or the last 6 digits of their student ID number, which is the same as their lunch number. There's some more directions on this page as to what that is. So I'm going to hit next. So now I know that I'm in my Chrome browser and I'm all signed in. Well, how do I know that I'm signed in or that you're signed in as your student? If you go up here and just kind of hover over, This tells me the exact email address on the right hand, that little circle that this Chrome browser is signed in as. Right next to that, there's these 9 squares. It's the Google Apps menu. A lot of times you'll hear students and teachers call that the waffle. I'm going to click on my waffle, and you'll see one of the things that's listed here is Classroom. And that's Google Classroom. That's an online learning management system, or an LMS. Don't need to remember that by any means, but it just knows that that's where your students will probably doing a lot of their work, especially 2nd through 8th grade. So they might have one class here, or they might have numerous. Let's say this is my student. My stream is kind of like a Facebook feed. It might have all kinds of things there. My assignments, announcements, those sorts of things. But when you're trying to figure out, okay, whether or not my child completed this, let's say they're at daycare or with a relative or something like that during the day, and you're like, well, they said they turned this in, but I'm not sure, or you just want to kind of help them make sure that they're getting everything done during the day, and you go to the classwork page. On this classwork page, anything that they have completed is going to have a little gray icon. Anything that they have not completed has a little blue icon. So the gray means it's done, and the blue is there lit up for you bright to remind you that this is something that your child still needs to complete. Okay. If I wanted to know the details of an assignment, I just click on it, and it gives me this nice big drop down. All right. This is the directions from the teacher. In this case, there's a rubric to grade it. And then here's the actual things that my child needs to touch and deal with. I like to look at the assignments through the View Assignment button right here. So I like to look at things right here through the View Assignment button. This one is blue, so I know it's not been turned in yet, right? So it's assigned, and I still need to click on it. Like I said, you can come down here to View Assignment. Kind of just takes you to the assignment and its own window. And I see here's what I need to do. These are the slides that I need to go in and do as a student. And then there's this button. This is the really big one for parents. It says Mark is done. Okay, so when a student does something to an assignment and they're done, they want to always hit that Mark is done button. And that sends it to the teacher kind of electronically. So if I click on these might be something like interactive slides, and I'll have directions, and my teacher's going to tell me, okay, I need to read this and then do this, and so, okay, I did my work. Now I'm going to mark it as done. I want that done. Mark it as done. Yep, I did it. What that does is let my teacher know that it's been turned in. And go back here. You'll see now it's gray, which means I've turned it in. If you come home and you're like, okay, you did this great assignment today, this was the one, and okay, and then you pull it up and you look at it and you're like, hang on, you could have done better, or you didn't follow this direction, whatever you want to kind of help them, you can actually unsubmit that, fix it, and then mark it as done and turn it back in. Really like this, if there's a due date on something, then it's going to show in red right here as missing if you're past the due date. You can send private comments if you need to the teacher with the assignment. That would be something your student would do, though, for communication. Probably not you. If you wanted to communicate with the teacher, you would do that through email or class time. All right, so we're going to mark this one as done, get it all turned in. There's another place you can look and see what your student has and hasn't touched kind of during the day. And that's their storage, and that's the drive. So if I hit my waffle again, drive is kind of like their giant electronic filing cabinet for everything that they've done. And if you see here, some of the last things that I touched, including that assignment, is right here at the top in my drive. Also, there's a folder that is automatically made for your students as Classroom. It has all their classes in here if they have a bunch, and then you can actually click down to that folder and see the work that they've done as well. Classroom and Drive, we have a lot of people talk about those and are kind of unsure. These are just the places where your student is going to be doing work and turning in work and kind of functioning out of. Things to remember. To be signed in as them. Use the waffle to find their work. Both Classroom and Drive are also apps that you can put onto your phone. And so if you have the app on your phone, you could actually be watching during the day if you're signed in as your student to see what it is that they're completing and not completing.
If you have multiple students, once you get signed in on your app, you can actually just kind of flip through from student to student to see who has done what and what they're doing during the day. So if you're at work and you get a chance to check on lunch hour and see how they're progressing, if they're at home or at daycare or, with another adult somewhere, then you can kind of keep an eye on that. If you are unsure of your child's password, they've forgotten it or something like that, you can call the school and they will help you to get that password from them. I kind of consider Classroom and Drive like their digital backpack. When my students or when my children come home from school, I might get in there, especially when they're younger, check their folders, make sure that they've turned in whatever they needed to turn in or got graded work back. So Classroom and Drive, since we're not coming back and forth to school with that actual folder, these are kind of like your virtual folders and the places that you would log into and look and see what your student is doing.